it's safe to say you don't need to have anyone do typing. You don't even need to do it yourself. I dictate everything to my phone. I get in the car and I push the button on the bottom of the phone and I say, read me my messages or read me my emails, and the phone does all that for me. Now, not only that, but on my computer I've got a text expander program. This one is called Text Expander, which works on the phone and on the computer, but there's a bunch of them. All they are is macros. So what you do is you put in a little shortcut and a phrase or a whole letter, doesn't matter. And let's say you have a standard letter that you send to your clients. All you have to do is put in 2 or 3 keys.
Text Expander saves you time and effort typing email notes and more. Use Text Expander to type short abbreviations that expand to common phrases, entire messages, addresses, and email signatures. Create your own abbreviations for snippets of text to use again and again. Built-in groups of snippets, such as autocorrect, HTML, CSS, and symbols, help speed you on your way. Save time. Let Text Expander type for you.
So my point is, look at all the technology that's out there and say, how can I use this technology to make my business more efficient? Automate absolutely everything that you can. And there's a bunch of things that you can automate. If you've got a mobile phone, you can also create text expansion. So if I put in XMTG, so let's say I meet you today, this morning, and I put in my phone a message to you and put in XMTG, it expands to great meeting you today, let's catch up for coffee, I'll call you in a week or so. Now, if you've got an iPhone, you go to settings, keyboard, shortcuts, and you can put that in for yourself. And if you've got an Android phone, you can do it, but I'm not sure exactly what the steps are, but you can do exactly the same thing. But my point is, why would I want to type anything that's recurring? Why would I want to redo anything a second time? If I've done it once, it's done. And this is the way we've got to think if we're going to go forward. I also have now a virtual PA. In fact, I have 2 of them. I have a lady in country Victoria who, when I got rid of all my office staff, I hired this lady for 10 hours a week at what was then $40 an hour. It's now $60 an hour. She's too expensive, by the way, at $60 an hour. However, I decided that she couldn't do all the work. So I hired her a full-time assistant in the Philippines. I pay $500 a month to have a person, happens to be a lady, working for me in the Philippines, but I don't have anything to do with her, other than hiring her because my lady in country Victoria actually runs the lady in the Philippines. So I've saved myself. Now, she does everything from making a doctor's appointment to sending out invitations to an event to whatever I want. It's all done for me because there's a cheaper way of doing things. And by the way, that person will disappear soon because there'll be a program, I haven't seen it yet, but there'll be a program that will automate everything she does because that's the way the world is going. So you've got to think about that in the context of your business and say, how can I do this in my business? Portable scanning, another thing that used to be hard to do. Now you can do it on your phone. I'm not going to show you the video because I've just looked at the time. Cloud storage. Anyone here not using cloud storage? I use Dropbox because I like it. I encrypt the files that go in that are sensitive. But it means that I can look at a file on my phone, I can look at it on my laptop, or it's on my office machine and all of them sync automatically. I don't need to do anything manually anymore. And often I want to work on something at home at night. In fact, often I don't want to go into work. So I'll take it and I'll do it there. This is all there today. This is not tomorrow's technology, this is today's technology. I'm going to talk about tomorrow in a minute. You want to increase revenue? Very simple. Start thinking about, how do I charge more? I have an insurance broker client I went to see this broker. He wasn't a client at the time. I had a look at his business. He had 4,000 clients. I looked at it and 2,500 of the clients were earning him $600 or less. And I said to him, you can't be making money on these people. Every time you have a claim, it costs you more than $600 just to administer the claim. So we set up an online system where the 2,500 people renew themselves. They put in their own data, their own information, they do it all themselves. Now yes, he lost a few clients, but the fact is he cut his expenses so far that the clients that remain, and he's now up to 2,000 clients again, and they're all earning him $3,000–4,000 each. And that's the point. This was a lesson I had to learn for myself. I've dropped any client who doesn't bring in a revenue of $5,000 a month. Now, I don't have a lot of clients, but I made the decision. And it's interesting, if you'd read the papers, Myers is about to look for clients who spend $6,000 or $8,000 a year with them. They don't want the small ones anymore. They're changing their business model. Now, how does a client become worth more? This is the question you've got to be asking yourself. How can you disrupt your own business so that clients become worth more to you? What else are you going to give them? What sort of relationship are you going to build? Are you going to stay in touch with them on a regular basis? Are you going to position yourselves differently? See, this is what we've got to start thinking. How do we do this differently to the way we've done it before? Because I've got to tell you, anyone can complete a tax return, including a machine. So you've got to work out how you add more value than just completing tax for them. Okay, a lot of life is about perception. It's how do you look? Do you look like this guy or do you look like that guy? I actually believe that you build your business based on the perception people have of you and the relationship you build with them. So are you out there staying in touch with your clients on a regular basis? Because today, if you're not, someone else will be. Someone else will be contacting them. I look at the Commonwealth Bank, great example. They haven't noticed yet. By the way, the bank makes money out of two things, superannuation and credit cards. And preferably, they don't want you to pay your credit card on time. Because if you don't, you know what happens? 20% interest. However, while they weren't looking, how many of you have heard of PayPal? PayPal is now doing 16% of all the online money transactions every day, and the banks didn't notice. And by the way, the banks could have bought PayPal, but they didn't. So what's the thing that you can do differently that's going to add value to your clients? And this is the thing that I keep on emphasising, because we've got to think that way. I said it, relationships. How are you going to tell people that you're different? This is really critical in a digital world, because now all of a sudden you can get your message out to millions of people instantly. The same way that I sent a message to the Commonwealth Bank, this is a zillion ways. But here's the most important of all, video. And I'll show you why it's important. First of all, this says 800 million, that's actually up to 1 billion users every month on YouTube. 1 billion users. 4 billion hours are watched, and 300 hours are uploaded every minute from mobile devices. That's the world. You see, you've got a guy here making a film. You can use video now to make yourself look different. 50% of all videos on mobile devices. This is also critical for today's world. Now let me show you what one of my clients is doing.